Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of NXT Then Now Forever. I'm James Boyd, and I'm here with this week's co-host, a new contributor to SocialSuplex.com, Danny Kuchler. What's going on, man?
I'm doing really well. We recorded Get in the Ring earlier, which will be debuting on the Social Suplex on Friday. And now I'm recording with you, James. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I've kind of had a rough go of it technical difficulty-wise. That's kind of why it took so long to get on this call. But, we're past that now, so now we can do the show. So let's just go ahead and get into it and start with 5 years ago's NXT.
Tyson, first of all, I want to say that I've been watching you for a long time, and I respect you. However, if you think you're going to use NXT as a springboard to feature your career at my expense, well, you've got another thing coming. You see, NXT, we are the future, which means I am the future, and this is my ring. So at TakeOver, Tyson, May 29th, I think the only member of your family taking home the gold, as per usual, will be your wife.
Whoa. Man, this was a real throwback.
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah, so that's WWE NXT number 222 from May 22nd, 2014. The show starts up with a video to hype up the Big E Langston versus Bo Dallas match, a Neville match later in the show, and Paige versus Tamina in a rematch from Extreme Rules. God. I pity the poor soul that decided to go back and rewatch that match from Extreme Rules. I seriously doubt it's as good as the one that actually was on NXT.
Oh.
So, the show starts with Big E Langston versus Bo Dallas in a title shot or leave NXT match. Those are two options for Bo Dallas. He has no choice. Either he gets another title shot by beating Big E, or he's out of here forever. Out comes Bo Dallas first. He gets on the mic and says that NXT was built on Bo leaving and that he humbly accepts the title of Mr. NXT. He says he promises that he will never leave NXT and don't stop Bo leaving.
This was when Bo was the inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
And he was just so annoying with the Bo leave!
Yeah, so then out comes Big E, and Renee on commentary says, "Here comes the strength," when she was really trying to say the scrimp. Good luck with that. Maybe you shouldn't try to do stuff you don't know. Stay in pocket. So the crowd is all chanting for 5 and putting up their 5s in similar fashion. Ty Dillinger's 10, so Ty Dillinger is not the creator of numbers. So Big E kicks Bo Dallas's ass in and out the ring multiple times until they finally get back out of the ring. Bo cuts him off with a chop block to the knee. Bo takes over by crashing Big E's head into steel steps and then rolls him back to the ring. Bo slaps on a red rest hold, and then we go to commercial break for, commercials on the WWE Network, which is already paid for. Go figure. We get a commercial break for the first ever officially named NXT TakeOver Special, which is funny because now we're coming up on NXT 25. We come back with Bo regaining control with a waist tackle. Bo nails Big E with some wrist control, back elbows, and then finally a rainmaker for a 2 count. Bo tries to whip Big E into the corner, but Big E reverses it and sends Bo into the opposite corner. Big E mounts a comeback and finishes it with a belly-to-belly suplex.
Ending.
Sorry?
And a big ending.
Oh no,
sorry.
the big ending's not yet. We're still a ways to go.
Belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah, goes for the belly suplex, and then he gets Bo up on his shoulders for the big ending, but Bo escapes and then hits a scorpion death drop. Bo goes for the bulldog, and after coming off the ropes, Big E throws him off, and then he hits a overhead belly-to-belly suplex for a 2 count. Big E goes for his rope-to-rope running, jumping splash deal that he always does, but Bo gets the knees up, and then Bo hits a double underhook DDT for a near fall. Bo takes his wrist tape off and throws him into one corner, and then it distracts the stupid ref, and then he goes to the opposite corner and exposes the top turnbuckle. And then from the middle of the ring, Big E tosses Bo in the air all the way to the exposed turnbuckle, and then finally hits the big ending for the win. Renee, after the match, says that the human side of her feels for Bo. What? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, what the fuck is the other side of human? Like, is it the symbiote? Like, it's supposed to be like Venom and start fighting crime? What?
I do not know. It's just stupid WWE vernacular.
I don't even know if that's WWE vernacular. That's just her, like, just saying something. And, like, I remember Renee being... I remember the times I would watch NXT before I started doing the show, and I remember Renee being better. And she is better than she is on the main roster during this run I've been watching NXT. But I remember her being, like, good. And I think her real problem is, when I would watch her NXT at the time, she was doing play-by-play, not color. I think, ultimately, she's being miscast by doing color. She should be doing play-by-play. They should get Michael Cole the fuck up out the seat. Sorry?
Especially since she's never been in the ring. You know, she couldn't do color if she hasn't been in the ring doing stuff.
I mean, maybe, but I think if... It depends, because with a 3-man team, or 3-person team, sorry, you can have somebody be the person to do the, you know, the in-ring analysis, and then you can have somebody also do the you know, the emotion, the storytelling side, but they don't do that. They're more or less trying to be a fucking, you know, news debate show where, like, they argue one topic of debate during a match, because who's supposed to give a fuck about matches? And then they flip-flop between every match between a heel and face dynamic. They don't keep consistency on, you know, how they feel between people's actions on the show, where, you know, it's kind of like the JBL syndrome. Like, this is the first time I remember, like, it really happened with JBL, where JBL was the heel play-by-play person after the brand split, the second brand split. And then he would go on and on and on and shit on, you know, heels that he didn't like, even though he's the heel announcer. And then, like, is Randy Orton or John Cena, he'll just kiss their ass because those are, you know, the top guys. So it's like, if you stay consistent, it's easier to follow and you can kind of, you know, get it, as opposed to we're in this era where Graves is just like Graves and Saxon, Graves and Renee, and they're just like, depending on the segment, they completely flip-flop on each other.
Yeah, and Michael Cole is the Molly Querum.
I don't know what that means, but sounds good.
First Take. If you watch First Take with Stephen A. and Max Kellerman, Molly Querum's the, like, impartial third.
Oh, okay, so she's like the new Carrie champion.
Yes.
Okay, so after the match, Bo Dallas is in the middle of the ring, and he's crying as the full crowd is chanting, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. It's just beautiful. So we go to commercial break. It's a commercial for WrestleMania 30s, Blu-ray and DVDs, and then we are shown a replay from the commercial break where Bo is kicking the ring and kicking the ring steps, and he falls on the ground. He has a meltdown / temper tantrum, hissy fit deal, and then the crowd chants, "Bo, leave, Bo, leave," as the fans are motioning towards the arena exit. So
that was phenomenal.
Yes.
It was like phenomenal television right there. Just Bo like kicking and screaming and like, and then the crowd's like, "Bo, leave, Bo, leave."
Yeah. there's also I didn't write in my notes, but there's also, he got on the mic at the end and he says, you know, from the bottom of my heart, everybody, I hate all of you, or I dislike all of you. And he goes, you know what? You guys all stink. And then the crowd starts laughing and they realize, like, this whole thing is, like, the whole point, his whole heat was the fact that he was lame and, like, he was actually a comedy guy. And, you know, you actually saw some comedy out of him as opposed to being, like, you know, bad comedy guy to get heat, which is, like, kind of the Iconics role where, like, you ever see the Iconics backstage, like, they're actually kind of funny and have charisma as opposed to, like, being what they are on screen. Yeah. So, 19 minutes into the show, we're finally shown the announced team of Alex Riley, Rich Brennan, and Renee Young, because I hadn't, for like the first third of the show, I had no idea who was on the show doing commentary except for Renee. So,
Alex Riley was horrendous.
Was he? I couldn't tell who was who. Like, honestly.
No.
Like,
It's just like Alex Riley's voice was like so great back in the day.
Huh. I don't know, like, he was really bad, and we'll get to it. He was really bad during this Adam Rose and Camacho match, but outside of that, I thought he was just typical WWE mindless person on commentary. So, from there, we end up going to a backstage interview with Tyson Kidd after he won the three-way in last week's show. He says that he's one step closer to the NXT title and he will obtain his destiny. That sounds... Wow. That sounds... A human wrote that? So, a human said that. So, we get a backstage interview with Sami Zayn. He says last week's loss isn't going to stop him from chasing after the NXT title. And then Tyler Breeze interrupts. He says, boo-hoo, we get it, Sami. You lost. And now you're crying to Devin, the interviewer. So then Sami says, if anyone should be crying, it should be Breeze after he got pinned in the match. Breeze admits that he got pinned, but not by Sami. So then Sami challenges him to a match tonight, and then Breeze accepts the challenge, but says not tonight. He's too busy, and that he'll see Sami at TakeOver.
And that's how they set up the great Sami Zayn Tyler Breeze match at NXT TakeOver. That match was great.
I don't really remember the match. What I really remember is the four-way. So I'm, going to build this show, I'm thinking like, okay, so how are they going to screw this? Or, what's the angle to make it to a four-way? And apparently there isn't. Like, that's the next show or the next TakeOver after this. And like my memory was just wrong on that. So then from there we get Paige versus Tamina. They exchange some strikes until Paige lands a headbutt. Tamina no-sells it because she's Samoan, and American professional wrestling psychology has always shamefully traded in racist stereotyping. So anyway, Tamina clotheslines Paige through the ropes and she falls on the apron. Tamina body slams Paige 3 times for a 2 count. Tamina elbows Paige in the back and then slaps on a bear hug to work over that weakened back. Paige quickly fights out. Tamina hits a clothesline for a 2 count. Tamina hits more elbows to Paige's back and then puts Paige into the Lex Luger torture rag. Tamina gets tired and then Paige drops some elbows to escape. Paige waist wrestles Tamina into the corner and she lands her signature city looking back elbows. Paige mounts a comeback with 2 rainmakers. She goes for a third, but Tamina ducks under and hits the ropes. But Paige catches her in the ropes with a V-trigger and then hits the final third rainmaker. And just for the record, this was 31 months before the first Okada Omega match. So
yeah, this actually happened.
Yes. It's like, wait, where did this come from? So Tamina fires up and sits Paige on the top rope and then just shoves her off, a cliff. She ends up crashing and falling onto the apron before melting off onto the floor. The ref checks on Paige and begins to count. The ref gets her the count all the way up to 5 until Tamina goes out and rolls her back in the ring and then goes for the top rope splash. But Paige gets her boots up and then gets a small package for the win.
God, Tamina cannot hit a splash for her life.
No, she cannot. But at least in this situation, she got the boots up instead of the knees, so that like because she did the knees and like it would have been bad. But I think this may have been the best singles match I've ever seen Tamina in. I don't know.
Yeah, and she wasn't as offensively bad as she normally is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
the
wow.
Rainmaker spot. You think Paige was watching her Okada tapes from 2013?
I mean, possibly. I believe she worked Japan.
Oh.
I believe I believe so. Like, I mean, even she's the person that was like going to, all different parts of Europe and everywhere else when she was like 14. So,
yeah,
that's the reason why, like, her career ended so early, and it's like, it's not, she had a bunch of matches on her, or filled up her bump card a lot before she ever got to NXT.
Right.
Yeah, so we end up getting a WWE Don't Try This at Home commercial.
Of course you do. They don't even show those anymore. It's like...
You know what? That's a good point. I never thought about that. They don't show those anymore. That's weird. They should definitely be doing that now, because people are doing like flips and, and dives in every single match before they go to commercial.
Really, try this at home, people. I think everybody knows it's fake by now, so it's like,
I mean, that's
okay.
But everyone's known it's fake since what? Who knows when everyone knew it was fake, but the point still stands, like, they do more dangerous stuff now than they ever did when, like, people were getting killed because, a teenager hit another teenager with a rock bottom,
Right.
So
right.
They should definitely still be doing it.
They're doing Spanish Flies, and Michael Cole is saying, "What is wrong with these guys?"
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah, so let's come back to the show. Out comes Camacho. Renee says she has eyes on Camacho's muscles. So then we get Adam Rose versus Camacho. That'd be a much different match.
Adam Cole versus Tango Loa would be a much different match than this.
Yes.
Storm.
Yeah, so Camacho pounds on Adam Rose into the corner and ropes with punches and kicks.
And did Camacho become a better wrestler by leaving that company?
A lot better. And then after some shenanigans, Rose lands some strikes on top of Camacho's head from the second rope. Camacho gets Rose into a fireman's carry position and lands some more drop. And Riley then says, quote, Camacho from the barrio, unquote, because Camacho is Mexican, even though Tangaloa is really Tongan. On commentary, Renee asks Riley what he knows about the barrio, and Riley says he knows nothing about the barrio. He grew up in Fairfax, Virginia, but he does know it's a rough part of Mexico that Camacho's from. Again, folks, Tangaloa is a Pacific Islander. The island of Tonga is closer to Antarctica than motherfucking Mexico. They'd be better off trying to convince me that this man was a penguin. Like, I don't... Whatever. So Camacho hits a butterfly suplex. Rose rips off Camacho's wife beater. Camacho runs Rose's head into the turnbuckle over and over. Rose hulks up more and more with each blow. He ends up mounting a comeback with punches, chops, and a spine buster. Rose hits his Bronco buster, and he goes for his finish. I believe Josh Smith from Keepin It Strong Style was on the show a couple weeks ago. I think he identified it as a snapmare driver, but Camacho escapes, and then he takes a powder outside and elects to take the count out loss.
And this would set up the Adam Rose Camacho takeover match.
Can't wait.
No, I watched that match earlier. Like, the control period by Camacho is the most boring, dry, dull shit that you could ever freaking watch.
So we get a commercial for WWE Legends House, and then we get another commercial for the first ever TakeOver special. Next matchup is Natalya.
Legends House was a hell of a show, by the way.
Sorry?
Legends House was a hell of a show, by the way.
I'll take your word for it. I don't really believe you, but I'll take your word for it.
I was being sarcastic.
So,
I did make the mistake of watching that, and it was bad.
See, there you go. I'm going to say, like, until you came around and said this show was not good, I was like, I question your style, my friend. I question your taste. But, okay, it's just a joke. Okay, so we end up getting Natalya versus Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship Tournament semifinals. Charlotte accompanies Sasha to the ring for the match, and we get a backstage interview from earlier where Sasha says she's torn between wanting Sasha to beat a has-been like Natalya and facing Sasha in the final because she doesn't want to expose her best friend's weaknesses to the world. So Sasha and Natalya, they start with some rope running spots. Natty goes for a quick pin attempt. Sasha gets Natty into the corner. Sasha gets Natty laying over the middle ropes over in the corner and gets her double knee spot that she always does. Sasha stomps on Natty's back and then slaps on some straight jacket choke with her knees up into Natty's back. Natty fights up to her feet and then backs Sasha into the corner. She ends up snapmaring Sasha out of the corner, and then Sasha charges, and Natty hits a butterfly suplex. Sasha then suckers Natty and then shoves her into the opposite corner and then lands a running bulldog. Sasha rolls out the ring with an apparent hamstring injury, and the ref starts counting, and then Charlotte yells at her to get back in the ring and then throws her back into the ring. So Sasha and Charlotte start arguing by the ropes. So Sasha turns around to lift Natty up for her to her feet, and then Natty double legs her and slaps on the sharpshooter submission victory for the win. Natalya then will now face Charlotte at the next takeover for the vacant NXT Women's Championship. So then we get Adrian Neville versus Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins comes out looking like if Mr. Matt robbed AJ Styles for his ring gear.
That is perfect. That is so perfect. Face the facts, Kurt Hawkins.
Oh my god, I forgot about that era of Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, remember Joe Lance would go on Voices of Wrestling every week and say, "Face the facts."
Oh my god, like you watch this and you're like, why did they ever let him come back? They fired him, brought him back, and he's still here. And it's like, for what? Why did he bring this dude back?
He had a match with AJ Styles at Bola, and they still brought him back. Ugh. Imagine that.
Wait, Kurt Hawkins did PWG?
Yeah, he had a match with AJ Styles at the Battle of Los Angeles. It was so bad that they never brought him back when he was released.
Wow. Alrighty then. Well, I mean, I never thought that Kurt Hawkins was necessarily bad. I just thought that he was a jobber. But whatever. Okay, so this is a short match. Hawkins gets control at the start and hits a vertical suplex until Neville cuts him off with his running basement kicks, and then a shotgun missile drop kick and then he hits the red arrow for the win. After the match, Tyson Kidd comes out and comes down to the ring. He says he didn't come to the ring to cause any problems. He just wanted to let Neville know that at TakeOver, the NXT title will be his. So Neville says to Tyson that if he thinks he's going to use him or NXT as a springboard to further his career, he's got another thing coming. Then Neville says, NXT, we are the future, which means he is the future and that this is his ring. And then Neville with the kill shot says at TakeOver, the only member of Tyson's family that will be taking home any gold per usual will be Tyson's wife. They go face to face, and then Tyson leaves the ring and they yell at each other as he heads up the ramp, and we fade to black.
Good show. Very compact. But not as good as this week's edition of it.
Yeah, that tends to be the case. It's almost as if, bringing in dead ringers helps the show. Yeah, but you'll be moving on to this week's NXT.
Do you not understand how math works, Adam Cole? You definitely didn't shock the school system, that's for darn sure. Math is hard, though. Math is hard. So I'm going to explain it to you very, very, very slowly, okay? In a 2 out of 3 falls match, you need to win 2 falls. You only won 1 fall.
We get that, dummy!
I won 2 falls. That makes me the NXT champion, okay? Do you understand, buddy?
Shut up, Johnny! We're back, and we're going to be reviewing NXT 507 from yesterday, May 22nd, 2019. I'm going to hand that over to Danny.
Hello. We have first William Regal announcing in a little pre-tape that the Street Profits, the Forgotten Sons, Lorcan and Birch, and Fish and O'Reilly will compete at TakeOver in a ladder match for the vacated NXT Tag Team titles. Then the Undisputed Era kick off the show this week, arriving as a unified force. Cole says they're not going anywhere and they're stronger than ever. They own the NXT and the entire roster, and they will take what they want. At TakeOver, they will win the NXT Tag titles and the NXT title. And Johnny Gargano now arrives with, and Mr. Wrestling has an issue with his proclamation. He accepts the match, but says Cole can't beat him on his own. Cole said he beat him in NYC on the first fall on his own, and then he did a shocking math system where it was like you have to win 2 out of 3 falls to win a 2 out of 3 falls match. Then that pisses Cole off, and then he notes it eats at Gargano that he pinned him. Riddle arrives and attacks Undisputed Era, and Gargano joins in, clear the ring and stand tall. This sets up Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish versus Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano for later tonight. All right, so Mansoor versus Sean Maluda. They lock up work into counters. Maluda's grounding action with Mansoor counters out and then follows with a Rana and a dropkick. Maluda fires back with some kicks and a Samoan drop. The running boot connects and Maluda flies in for the code breaker for a 2. He ground sinks and then Mansoor fires back with strikes and a German. And he follows it with a slingshot neckbreaker, which looked real nice. And he hits an inverted suplex for the win. Solid stuff.
I think this is the first time I've heard of Maluda in WWE since the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we have the Undisputed Era arguing with Riddle and Strong. He makes Riddle versus Strong for TakeOver, and then he announces the main event tag match. Then Velveteen Dream is here for his experience, and the people want to feel him, touch him, and hold him, but you can't. Look, everyone, it's Tyler! Tyler Breeze. Making his official NXT return. They exchange words. They do a selfie thing, and then Dream offers to let him take a selfie. Breeze accepts, then Breeze attacks them. So that's up a North American title match for Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze, putting the 1-1 to 2014 NXT to 2019 NXT.
Oh, God. Time is a flat circle. He's back. I think the last time he was back, he had that great match with Ricochet but he's back again.
Yes, he's back again.
He cannot put the dope down.
No, he can't. Candice LeRae versus Reina Gonzalez. Gonzalez overpowers to begin bullying Candice and hitting a slam for a 2. Candice fires back as Gonzalez tries to ground her, attacks the arm, and then dumps her to the floor. Gonzalez catches the high cross, but Candice sends her to the steps. Back in the ring, and Candice hits a Rana and follows her strike. The missile dropkick follows, and then the wine salt finishes it. Breeze and Dream is official for NXT TakeOver, but first, post-match, Marina Shafir, Desmond Duke, and Shayna Baszler all attack Candice LeRae. Io Shirai and her kendo stick makes a save, beats the crap out of Shayna and her pals to stand tall. I love Io so much.
Yeah, she's only maybe the best woman wrestler.
So next week we have Kushida. We have Kushida versus Drew Gulak and Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair for the Go Home show. Then we have Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish versus Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano. This really comes down to the end. This was a pretty good, fun main event here. O'Reilly and Riddle trade Germans. They isolate Fish with double teams between Gargano and Ricochet. Riddle hits a floating blowout for the 2 count. O'Reilly makes a save. Gargano hits a long knee strike combo, which looked fantastic. Then Riddle in control until Cole arrives. Gargano hits him with the suicide dive. And then Roddy attacks Riddle from behind, slams him off the apron. Total elimination finishes off Riddle. This was a very good, fun main event. As Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish defeat Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano.
So
And
what's on tap for... Sorry?
So what's on tap for next week?
Yep, that's what I was going to ask.
Kushida versus Drew Gulak and Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair.
That's right. Okay. So yeah, man. That's about the end of the show. It sounds like a good show. I appreciate you, coming on here and hopping on here with the notes to get it done because, real life. Real life is saying the promos like real life intervened with our fake wrestling match. So now there is no Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano at NXT New York. But real life intervened. So I didn't have a chance to actually watch this week's episode of NXT. So I'm glad you were with me, or you were here on the show with me to pick up the slack for me. Yeah. And I'm going to get around to checking this show out as soon as I get off this and start editing this thing. So I appreciate it. So do you want to get in your plugs?
Yes, so Get in the Ring debuts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network on tomorrow, during the day. And then you can follow me on Twitter at DJDCooksWrestle, and you can follow hit the like on Facebook. The username is GITR Social Suplex. So it's Get in the Ring on the Social Suplex. So yeah. That's my plugs. What are your plugs?
Oh, here are my plugs right here. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to check out our friends at Powerslam.tv, the sponsor for this show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling, they have over 5,000 hours of footage from all over the world. You can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. Don't forget to visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out our other shows. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. On every other Wednesday, we have Grown Men Watch This Shit. On Thursdays, we have this show, NXT Then Now Forever. On Fridays, we now have Danny's new show. You want to tell the people again what the name of the show is?
Get in the Ring.
Get in the Ring. And then on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening, guys. Later.